video had an accomplice. Joining me now, former FBI agent Jason Pack. Jason, thanks so much for being here. I could seriously keep you here all day. I just got back late last night from covering this. People are absolutely fascinated by this case. In your opinion, is there one thing that really stands out as a key piece to this puzzle that could change the direction of this investigation?
Good morning, Jessica. Yes, I think that's true. I think what we're really waiting on now is that private lab in Florida to bring those DNA profiles back to Pima County so they can give them to the FBI and run those against CODIS. That's really going to be the biggest lead that's outstanding right now that investigators are waiting on. So as soon as the labs are finished with those profiles from the DNA inside Ms. Guthrie's home, they'll bring that to Pima County, and then the FBI will be able to put that into CODIS. Separately, they'll start an investigative genealogy investigation on that as well. So there's two avenues with that DNA. Separately, the leads from that backpack at Walmart, I still think are being run out, and that's still the best piece of information that we have from that video that's been recovered. So there's a lot of work to do. Jessica, I know it seems like when you're there covering it and when people are on the ground looking, there's not much door-to-door knocking. There's not much visible things that are going on with the FBI. But having been in these command posts before, behind the scenes, all these pieces of digital evidence that the FBI and Pima County are looking at are really being scrutinized, and I think you're going to find a lot of information coming out of there.
Something that really blew our mind during this investigation, we were live on air, and a pool delivery guy, pizza delivery guy shows up, a pool maintenance crew shows up. People are walking right up to the door. So now to find new evidence 2 weeks later after the home had been released to the family, and then they go, whoa, it's still a crime scene. How do we know what evidence we're actually talking about in there?
Well, hopefully this is some of the evidence that was recovered beforehand. In any case, we've gone back, even I have when I was an investigator, gone back to the scene several times, particularly when the FBI comes in. They'll not have been there initially, so they'll want to take their own look at the scene, and that's what happened there. It is kind of odd that they released it early. I don't know if that's some Pima County regulation, whatever, but it does prevent some complications sometimes there from defense attorneys. So they'll work through all that. Right now, the most important thing is to find information that leads to Miss Nancy.
Okay, let me ask you this too, because at one point I reported that, we're giving you everything that we know at home, right? But we're not getting a lot from the FBI at this point. And someone said they're only releasing about 10% of the information that they actually have. Is that a correct statement?
Well, it's hard to gauge a percentage, but there are definitely things that they hold back. And I think each investigation is different, Jessica. I think when people release things that are investigators to the public, they want something in return for that. And what they want is information. So things that may produce leads or tips are things often that they release. And that's what we've seen here to some extent. I will say it is kind of unusual not to have press conferences. I teach crisis communications. I've been a practitioner for almost 30 years. And when you don't come out and show that unified front, silence has a cost, right? It doesn't cost anything to come out there and show that unified front so the people will think and know and see that you guys are working together. It also helps with those rumors. When you're not going out there saying anything, we have the psychics stepping up. You've heard the people on the ground there with their particular ideas of what's happened. So coming out even occasionally just to update things and clarify things that are not true can be helpful as well. And I think a lot of people would like to see more of that because they're really invested in this case. This could be their mother or their grandmother, and I think that's why people are so invested in that.
Yeah, this misinformation spreading is just hard to watch. Former FBI Special Agent Jason Pack, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Jessica. Have a good day.
You too. President Trump hosts governors